All right, now I'm going to pretend that I'm Donald Trump's speechwriter. All right, no, I'm not. Well, I should try. He doesn't have a speechwriter. He doesn't use teleprompters. He's got little notes. You know who else had little notes? This is way before your time, Billy Bob. President Reagan. He had little 3x5 cards that just had, go in this direction on it. And to keep his speeches fresh, either he or one of his staff would shuffle up the cards before he took to the platform. So he had to be able to go from one card to the next and weave them together like there was a cohesion to it, even though the points had to be covered, but they might be covered in a completely different order. And so there's not a segue at that point that's a normal segue. All right, so Donald Trump doesn't have a speechwriter, but if I was a speechwriter for Donald Trump, I would give him little 3x5 cards. And I would say, Mr. Trump, you've got everyone's attention right now. But at the end of the day, you need certain pockets of support from people. You need them. The immigration issue is a critical issue. It's a life and death issue for America. It's not the only issue, all right? And you cannot get the White House without, say, the Christian right. If the Christian right stays home, if you do not win their hearts and win their trust and win their vote, you lose. You can't win the White House without the Christian right. Just ask President Bob Dole, not. President John McCain, not. President Mitt Romney, not. These men failed in their efforts to get the White House because the Christian right, much of the Christian right, just stayed home, wouldn't vote for them. You have to have them. So you have to tell these people the truth, and it better be what they want to hear. So if you're pro-life, you need to stand up and you need to go ahead and make these little hills to die on. Now, he knows darn well that he's not going to get the radical left-wing maniacal supporters of baby killing and same-gender marriage. He's just not going to get them. So I would put on the little 3x5 cards, I'm pro-life, and then let him go at it. I believe Obergefell is an evil decision, or I'm against homosexual marriage, and then let him run at it. I believe in the Second Amendment, and let him run at it with the way that Trump can. I believe that, and then go from there. What are the critical? I believe that the NASA program or the NSA program, spying on the American people, is wrong. I believe that Islam is a threat. Here's what I would do to ISIS. And go ahead and just let him pound on these things. But as much as we in the Christian community have failed to prevail on the life and death issues of our times, the murder of innocent babies and the abominable sin of homosexual behavior, as much as we have failed in a policy level, we still have the ability to vote for candidates or to not vote for candidates based upon those two life and death issues. And whether anybody at the New York Times or the Washington Post or in the Republican establishment or in the media establishment, whether any of them want to admit it or not, those two issues will never go away, and they will make or break candidates at the local, state, and federal level until either we prevail or this republic perishes. So, knowing that these things are not going to go away, and knowing that we better have our priorities straight, let's just hold people's feet to the fire. And if I was Donald Trump's speechwriter, I would say you have to go at these things, because if you don't run at them on your terms, people are going to run at you with them on their terms. Now, the truth of the matter is he used to be pro-abort, now he says he's pro-life. He's a thinking man, all right? This is not a dummy. So the question is he being Machiavellian? Will he say, I would make it a crime to kill babies? That's the litmus test, people. Will he say, I will only appoint federal judges who are against the murder of babies and promise to overturn Roe? And one other thing, I've got to take a break. One other thing for you, the voter. Do I have any money on me? Money matters to me. Oh, there's my passport. Look, money. I have a few dollars in my pocket. Few dollars, a couple of 20s, 10s, 5, all right. Money matters. It matters a lot. I have to buy my family's groceries. I have to put gas in the vehicles, pay for medical expenses for the boys. All right? Money matters to me. But the day that I vote for a candidate based upon filthy lucre first is the day that I have sinned against innocent blood. It's the day that I have turned my back on the priorities of God himself. That's why we are in the mess that we are in this country. Because Christian people, perhaps people watching this show, knowingly voted for people because of their economic policies, because of money. Knowingly voted for people that would murder a baby. They put money ahead of innocent lives. And that's how we got in the mess that we're in. The number one issue, because God says so, is the shedding of innocent blood. The number two issue, because God says so, is the abominable crime of so-called homosexual marriage. All right? The church has taught this for 2,000 years. The scriptures have taught it longer than that. Okay? The worst crime being committed on the planet is the shedding of innocent blood. It's a sin that cries to God for vengeance. And then look at Sodom and Gomorrah in the book of Genesis. Read Romans chapter 1 with St. Paul. The crime, the sin of homosexual activity is a crime, a sin that cries out to God for vengeance. And if we will turn our backs on the laws of God and on the things that cry out to God for vengeance in order to pursue money through our vote, economic policies, and candidates, we're doomed. We're doomed.